Hey guys, welcome to the week 8 lecture of Samachar Manthan. We're going to talk about environment and science and tech here. The first topic deals with polar research. It reads India to expand polar research to Arctic as well. Alright, so this topic is important for prelims as well as for mains. Let's move on to the details. So the first point reads that the first mission of India was to Antarctica, and this the recent mission, that is to Arctic, highlights refocusing of priorities due to climate change. So climate change is going to open, it is expected that Arctic will become ice free, and this is going to make access to multiple minerals available in the Arctic. So that is what India is trying to gauge through this research project. India has renamed the National Center for Antarctic and Ocean Research to National Center for Polar and Ocean Research. Alright, so this is the present name. The next is countries with presence in the Arctic Circle. So please refer your Orient Black Swan Atlas to see which all countries are in the Arctic Circle. This is important. Presently, India has only one Arctic observation station near Norway. Important information can be asked in prelims. Alright, so I've already told you it is basically a hunt for hydrocarbons. So sea ice in the Arctic has melted the fastest in this century, that is 21st century. So this is something which can be asked. Then India is already an observer at the Arctic Council. Now this is a body. Okay, so this is a body of countries in the Arctic Circle which bound the Arctic Ocean. So please, you should know the members of this Arctic Council as well as map them. Okay, so that will bring you the clarification. Above, more than this, the next point, it talks about this the India's research center, which is already existing near Norway. This research center was set up in 2015 as an underground observatory called INDARC. Okay, so this is the place where it was set up, halfway between Norway and the North Pole. So you must identify, you must mark the North Pole in your atlas as well as Norway. Acha, please note that geographical North Pole is not the same as magnetic North Pole. Okay, so these are two different things. You should map both of them. Then the next point talks about Indian mission to the Antarctic. Okay, so it is a multidisciplinary and multi-institutional program. This is important. It is under the overall control of the National Center for Antarctic and Ocean Research, which is under the Ministry of Earth Sciences. It was initiated in 1981, and it is the first Indian expedition to Antarctica. It has got global acceptance after signing of the Antarctic Treaty. So there is something known as Antarctic Treaty as well. The name initially was Dakshin Gangotri, which was established in 1983, and then Maitri in 1990, and the latest base is Bharti in 2015. So it will be better if you can mark all of these research centers in your atlas. Okay, and this atlas prefer it to be the Orient Black Swan one. Then Indian mission to the Arctic. So Himadri station is India's first Arctic research station. So we have so far read about 4 research stations. You should be very clear which of them are in the Antarctic, which is in the Arctic. Okay, so Himadri is in the Arctic. It is located at this place, all right, in Norway, and it is located at the International Arctic Research Base. Fine. Then in 2000, the first station, that is Himadri, was inaugurated in 2008 by the Ministry of Earth Sciences, and it is followed by INDARC. The next point is that it is expected that the Arctic will contain about 22% of the world's oil and natural gas. ONGC Videsh has signed a joint venture with Russia to explore this. And coming to the Arctic Council, we have already studied about it. So it is an advisory body First of all, this is important. Its recommendations are not binding, so it is only an advisory body, and it is based on the Ottawa Declaration of 1996. Alright, so the focus of this body is on sustainable development and environmental protection in the Arctic. So not just development, not just exploration and extraction of resources, but also environmental protection. Very, very important point. Then it consists of 8 Arctic states. Okay, the list is given here, but be very, very sure. I want all of you to mark these states. Then India and China are the observer countries since 2013. Important point. The next topic is new SAFAR system with air quality early warning system. Alright, so this is majorly important for prelims, but in mains also there is some relevance, so you can go through these points. Let's move on to the next slide. So what exactly will this SAFAR system do? It is basically a 72-hour advance forecast about air quality. Okay, so the forecast will be given in real time, and there will be a huge LED display that is going to give this forecast 24/7. Okay, and there will be color coding as well. So all these points are important. The next point is that it is an integral part of India's first air quality early warning system. Okay, this is important, early warning. So 72 hours in advance, which means about 3 days. Then it is going to issue health advisories are going to be issued on the basis of this forecast. This system is also going to measure sun's UV index, the PM1 as well as mercury. Then who has developed this system? These institutes, that is Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, then ESSO, then IMD, and then this body, the National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting. So these 4 bodies have collaborated. The ministry to implement the system will be the Ministry of Earth Sciences, and metropolitan cities will be covered. And again, this point, this is the first time in India that early warning system has been developed. So a question can come here. Benefits of early warning system. So many of these points are generic. For example, air pollution related diseases can be checked, public health, public awareness can be improved. These are all general points, but this one is important. I don't want you to miss it. That's why I have highlighted it. So in addition to the regular parameters, so these are the regular parameters, the system will also monitor benzene, toluene, okay, whatever is the pronunciation, then xylene. So these 3 will also be measured. So you need to be careful here also. The next topic is world's fastest man-made spinning object developed. So the first point is that this is the fastest man-made rotor in the world. It is going to help scientists study quantum mechanics. All right. This rotor is actually a tiny dumbbell which is made from silica and has been levitated, and it also uses laser. So these 4 items like tiny dumbbell, silica, levitation and laser, these are important. Then this laser can work in both straight line as well as in a circle. Then this dumbbell can be used for measuring tiny forces and torques known as torsion balance. Okay. Then applications of the rotor, such rotors have been used in discovering things like gravitational constant and the density of Earth, but these were more rudimentary. As they become more advanced, they can be useful in studying things like quantum mechanics and properties of the vacuum. So basically vacuum friction can be studied, gravity can be studied. Then about quantum mechanics. All right. So this is a term which has become quite popular now. So quantum mechanics is a theory in fundamental physics. Fundamental theory is not the best way of writing. It is a theory in fundamental physics. All right. So what it states is that it studies nature at the smallest scales, at the scale of energy, at the scale of atoms, at the scale of energy and subatomic particles. So not exactly atoms. So that's all in this topic. The next topic is National Policy on Biofuels 2018. This is important for mains as well as for prelims. Let's talk about it in the next slide. So the first point is that this policy has been notified by the Union Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Then the aim of the policy, it can be asked in prelims as well. So the aim is to ensure adequate and sustained availability of domestic feedstock. Okay, domestic is the important term here. So domestic feedstock for biofuel production. This is the first aim. Second is increasing farmers' income, then import reduction, then employment generation, and waste to wealth creation. Wealth to waste creation will be quite contrary. All right. Then provisions of the policy. It categorizes biofuels in three segments. First generation biofuels. Please read about these. Second generation and third generation, and there are incentives for each. Then it expands the scope of raw materials for ethanol production. That is, ethanol, the elements that are used in ethanol production have been expanded. Their scope has been expanded. So it now covers newer items like sugarcane juice, sugar containing materials like sugar beet, all these things. Okay. So there are also other things like broken rice, rotten potatoes, etc., which are unusable for human consumption. So definitely, instead of going to waste, they will be used for ethanol production, and that is a great thing. Then the third point is that surplus food grains can be used for ethanol production. Okay, but this will be with the approval of the National Biofuel Coordination Committee. Very, very important point, can be asked in prelims. Then is viability gap funding. Important point, but this VGF is only for 2G ethanol biorefineries, and about this is the criteria. And there are tax incentives for the 1G, first generation biofuels, as well as for second generation ethanol generation. My God. Okay. Then the next point is about significance of the policy. So can be asked in prelims, but important for mains. This is savings of forex, because there will be import reduction, cleaner environment in terms of reduction in crop burning, so lesser emissions of CO2. There are health benefits as well, as the cooking oil, which is generally in Indian homes, it is reused for preparing food, and using already used cooking oil is unhealthy. So this oil can be used for ethanol production instead. This is a health benefit. Then there will be better municipal solid waste management, because the bio waste, in terms of the expanded scope of raw materials which can now be used in ethanol production, that bio waste will be commensurately reduced in the municipal solid waste. So this is going to be a benefit. Next is infrastructural investment in rural areas. As more refineries are set up, there will be higher investment, so more income for people, more jobs, not just agricultural income, because the farmers are going to provide the feedstock, but also like regular jobs for rural people. So this is great. That is, employment generation will be there, income to farmers in terms of your agricultural residues, etc. We have already studied it. Then biofuels policy, the success of this policy will depend on the following. So this can be said to be the challenges facing the policy, or they can also be your way forward. So all these are very simple points. You can go through them yourselves. There is nothing really that is complicated or can be asked in prelims. So this is hardcore mains stuff, so please read it. Then comes your conclusion. These are also generic points, so nothing to explain here. The next topic deals with artificial intelligence. So this particular topic is only important for mains, but for prelims artificial intelligence, some conceptual question might come. That is, you might be given a range of applications, and then you can be asked like which all applications can be done through artificial intelligence. So nowadays almost everything can be done through artificial intelligence, but for mains this theme itself, the issue of artificial intelligence itself, is extremely important. You can ask a question on this issue either in GS1, GS2, GS3, even GS4, and also in essay it can be asked. So very, very important topic. By topic I mean the issue, that is artificial intelligence itself. All right, so you must be very, very strong in it. Then let's come to this particular topic. The first point it says is that artificial intelligence is set to transform civilization. All right, so transform civilization in the sense that industrial revolution did it in the 19th century, then digitization did it in the 21st century. So this is how civilization is getting transformed. The important point is this one, that all over the world just 1 or 2 concentrations of AI power are seen at present. Okay, these are USA and China. See, not even Russia. So China has surpassed even Russia in the AI race. So this is extremely worrying, especially for India. So this statement itself can attract a question that in GS1 particularly, that highlight the global distribution of artificial intelligence industry and the locational factors. Why are they established only in particular centers? So I'm just brainstorming what kind of questions can come. Then particularly about India's position in AI. So India stands nowhere. All right, a very harsh truth it is, but it stands nowhere as of now. This point gives you good examples. Please use in your GS answers. USA has got these companies, prominent ones in AI. China has got these ones. Then India has no such large domestic base. Okay, domestically owned commercial data system. So this is the greatest weakness that that a country can face in the era of digitization. Okay, even the companies, prominent Indian companies like Flipkart, they are getting taken over by US companies. So this is a problem situation for us. Then why it is a problem situation is because foreign companies will be more aware about Indian problems. Okay, because they are the controlling authorities of Indian data. They will know about India's problems more than Indians themselves. So this is a worrying situation here, and they can offer better solutions as well. So we will be dependent on them for solutions, and we will be paying them for basically solving our problems. So this is not a very good situation to be in. Then a big nation like India cannot derive satisfaction from just being a client country. Okay, so we must aim for domestically owned commercial data. This has to be our objective. Measures required. The first measure is technologies should be freely flowing across the globe. Okay, so this might require some form of changes in the World Trade Agreement or other multilateral trade agreements. Then domestic data-based sectoral platforms, they should be largely domestic. Very, very important point. Also, government can provide policy protection to the infant companies in this sector, because this can be treated as a strategic, that is data can be treated as a strategic national asset. All right, and once we have a firmer footing, once we have the confidence, then we can go global, compete with the likes of China, USA, all those things. So that's all. In way forward, there are simple points. Please go through them yourselves.